All right, we are live recording 4th of July week on a Tuesday. Got a new laptop. Woke up this morning to everything. OBS, TradingView, Rocket Scooter, everything had updates. Not little updates, like I had update Video Driver, had update C++ stuff with Microsoft for visuals. What's going on? I decided to do it last night, huh? We'll see. The new Alienware super duper laptop is in the house. So we first day trading with it as the backup. See how that goes. I got massive amount of cord management to take care of. And I hate that with a passion. It's like organizing coat hangers. I hate that too. All right, we're off and going. When you take out this 820 level, we hold the 800 level to the moon. We should be able to go with a little bounce back to the VWAP. Sitting on my hands, as you know, well, first minute. Let's just see what happens. We're paying close attention to Tesla today. Got some options over in Tesla. Tesla opened it up down 6%, 296. Wow, opening print 296. So all of us are trapped in that one. Luckily, I've got my exposure with just some options on TSLL, which is the 2x leveraged one that tracks Tesla. So I don't have any direct Tesla exposure. I got worse than direct. I got 2x. So I'm going to watch it. It's leading the board right now, 6.78% down at the open. We'll see how it goes here. I got to get out of the position. All right, you start seeing our opening range boxes developing here. That's why I didn't get in. Look how big that whippy tail was right there. And so let's just wait. We are getting some good indicators here. Rocket Scooter has not printed yet. We don't have DD. We do have resilience in the SPYs at 14 and negative resilience on the NQ. I'm sure that is. President Trump and Elon arguing, bringing down the entire tech sector. He said again, getting on the helicopter this morning, and AI, I probably want to make a timestamp this. President Trump was getting on the helicopter going to Alligator Alcatraz, and was asked about Elon. He says Elon's upset about the EV cars, but I ran on that. He was on the stage with me when I was telling him we're not going to be mandating EVs and any more than we would gas engine cars. Elon knew that. He goes, but now he's upset. He goes, he could get a lot worse for Elon. He didn't have to add that, but I'm sure that's what's happening to Tesla right now. It's getting a lot worse. Up to 7% down. So if we lose that 293 area on Tesla, trading at 295 now, that 293.50 is where it's going to fall off the hill there, and we'll have to take a short cover and rally to get back up to have any decent loss compared to the losses that we might take right now, percentage-wise anyway. It's not a lot of dollars, but you always got to go by percentages. A 20% loss is a 20% loss. I don't see anything happy now. Pushing the third minute here, working on that third 1 minute candle. Let's let the 5 minute candle get in place here and see if this is truly our opening range on the NQ for our futures trading. We got the trade evade up, got a fresh $50,000 prop account in here. I don't remember who it's with, but it's in there. No trades taken yet today. And let's just see if we can't make some hay, get another prop account to the payout status. Up on the human indicators today, I've got Matt as always, Rocket Scooter. I'm following of course, the book map that Alex puts up. Got it tuned into the NQ. Got all my sound set up like we like it. Pat is over in Hawaii. So Pat is, he's trading from Hawaii this morning. And let's see here, Mike Schwartz, also looking at the same charts that I am. And let's wait and see what everybody does if we want to lean on them for anything. Right now, we're just going to watch our Rocket Scooter. DD bands at 80. 80% of the S&P is trading in the green. So that's really good for longs today. And, you know, we're having this half gap fill. That might have been a good to take it right at the opening, but boy, my stop loss had been so tight. Let's just see what it does here. Let's let it pull back. And then maybe I can get into a trade here. So we're going to keep it on the 1 minute. We're going to put our ASHI on a 2 minute. See if we can't get some real clean run there on the ASHI candles, starting to develop a 2 minute okay run. You know, we got tails both up and down. You know, I don't like entering the trade if it's gone up. You know, we only want top tails. If it's coming down, we only want bottom tails. You can see these 3 candles right here leading into the opening, pretty clean. Look at the sell-off here. After this candle, all candles, no top tail. That one's a little bitty one. You'd have thought about it, but it was okay. So that was just a great sell-off right there. If you're using your ASHI, if you'd have got in on that reversal, 3 candle reversal, a little of a break of structure. It's not a change of character necessarily, but a break of structure. And let's just see. We're going to start watching our heat map. We're going to go ahead and turn it up so we can make sure we don't miss any audible alerts like we did the other day. Going to make sure that we are in the right one. We are live. You remember last week we were watching one that was delayed by accident. I didn't catch it till we were 30 minutes into the session. So we're going to stay on top of that a little bit better today. And let's see if we can't get direction one way or the other. Don't have any bias right now. You know, hit those all-time highs yesterday. You look back there. So could have some profit taking. We're just looking for any kind of a little run that we could get up or down and jump on that and then use our ASHI candles to stay in the trade. And right now it's just really sloppy on the 2 minute. So no conviction. No conviction. We're going to be trading in Tradevate. That's where the prop accounts are plugged into. But we're going to be charting, as always, with TradingView. Tesla still holding at 7.30, 7.20 down. The level that I'm working is going to be, I'm going to be working at $2.93. I mean, $293 spot 50. That it has to hold this level where it's at right now, or it's going to be crazy. Big gap down this morning. Massive gap down. This is all on President Trump talking. I'm loaded up with the July 25th call options on TSLL. That's the double leveraged tracker of Tesla. So let's just see what happens here. You see its opening range. We're at the bottom of the opening range. More than 5 minutes in. Trading below VWAP. I'm hoping we could get a reversal up to around that 213 level is the next place for big resistance. And so, yeah, I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it. President Trump, get on the radio and say everything is fine with me and Mr. Musk so we can get out of these trades. Holding up pretty good here. Holding up pretty good here. Still just chop city over on the futures. Nothing to be done just yet. No clear direction. We'll just watch the ASHI over here for the NQ, the NASDAQ 100 E-mini futures. Just waiting for something to happen here. I'll go ahead and change it back over on this side as well because I can watch the watch list for the Tesla. I'm going to add in there TSLL, 2X Bulls, Tesla Bull. It's in there. So now there, let's just go to the change. Down 14%. Look at that rascal. 10.10. Hadn't seen it below 10.50. I loaded up at some actual shares at 10.30 and rode it back to 12 a few weeks ago. But I'm scared to touch any of it right now. We got to make sure that Tesla it's going to hold. Some people are trying to hold this to the half gap over on the rocket scooter. Probably not a bad trade. I'm going to just wait for this range breakout. And you see what I mean? That's why I got to wait for it to be committed. Look at that turnaround right there. I don't like this action at all. This is the time you don't put any money in there. No money in there right now for me, folks. None. Zilch. Zilch. But let's see what happens. What are we doing here? Yeah. Nothing to be done. Everybody's pretty much sitting on hands. There's a few people that are take the trade up to that half gap. I'll show it to you right here on our rocket scooter. So, but they're still in this chop. That's what worries me is that chop. Look at that. No, nothing clear. It is holding VWAP. This is over on the SPY. We get a break from here, then a little run to that half gap is usually what will happen because that's where liquidity is. So I'm gonna get ready to maybe take this above this area. I think what I'll do is we will buy 4 if we break through this area. Got our order in. I'm going to take it out because I really want to see if this 1 minute candle will close above VWAP. No candles have closed above VWAP. And see what I mean? I'm so glad I didn't pull a trigger on that. That's why you got to wait for the clear breakouts and of that opening range. Come back over here. There's our opening range right there. So you would think around 22,820. So that again, the number was if we could hold 22,800, which we have. That was what all the pundits pre-market were saying is going to be crucial. But boy, you know, this still looks choppy. Anybody that knows about trading, you look at these tails, there's nothing, no one has taken control yet. No one has taken control yet. Let's just see. If we can get a little run going, even if we want to get maybe a little scalp, maybe a little 812. Let me get an entry around 817 and get 5 points. Call it a day. It doesn't take much. I'm gonna go 4 contracts when I do pull the trigger, and so I can get the $500 or $600 in a couple of minutes. I'm trading with the company that does not have minimum times in the trade, so that's important. If you guys like the Micro-scalp, which I do, make sure don't get burned. Pick a prop firm that doesn't have requirements that you stay in the trade a minute or 2 minutes or whatever. And also make sure you could DCA, you could dollar cost average. So if you're going to trade the micro minis, you could, you know, throw in 3. If it goes against you, throw in 3 more. Goes against you again, throw in 3. You still would only have 1 of these mini contracts equivalency in cash. See there, just nothing. And that's why I took that trade off. I didn't want to get 1 wick, get up there and get my order and then turn around on me. And look, had it done that, and it did turn around, I just wasn't feeling it. So just not looking good. VWAP has had nothing has closed above the VWAP. So that's something to be very mindful of. Over on Rocket Scooter, they're just trying to do a play, a run to half gap. So that open play to half gap, that's what the HG stands for. And that's like a magnet. There's a lot of liquidity there. And so usually it's drawn to liquidity. But we may have more things that enforced today because Powell's about to talk. I think he is talking. Don't know if anything's coming out of it. So let's go back over to TradingView. And you can open your news over here on the side panel, calendar. And S&P Global Manufacturing PMI final will be out in about a minute. They're reporting it to be low impact, but ISM won't be low impact. And then manufacturing PMI won't be low impact. So we got some pretty big stuff here coming up about at 9 o'clock. Look at that sell-off. So glad we didn't have it. That would have been an okay flat bottom break for a quick scalp, but I missed it looking at the news. And so that's the way it goes. First your money, second your close. Right, Terry? And so you can't chase it, folks. So look at this right here. We're dumping. We're absolutely dumping. Right there would have been your whole day. If I'd had a flat bottom order placed, that would have been the whole day. Getting to be way oversold on RSI. It's done on low volume. So we're just going to wait it out here. Let's go see what Pat's doing, if he's cussing yet. All right, Pat, what happened? A little bit of a push. I heard the sounds going off. We might be coming back here now, though. Let's just see if that's that rubber band flush. Let's see if we get that rubber band flush.
News in 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Count it down with me.
Here comes the news. They're all saying hit the like button, hit the like button. I want you to hit my like button too, but I'm not live like them. So I need subscribers and likes. Try to get that 1,000 subscribers. Send your friends to me, please. I'll be doing some giveaways at the 1,000 subscriber mark. And then we can start live streaming, show you how it's done by people who are just every day trying to make a living trading. Futures, we'll trade some options. We'll do a little bit of everything. It won't just be prop firm promotions. It'll be a little everything. All right. Still nothing. Don't like it. Right now we got conflicting 1 minute normal candles conflicting with the 2 minute ashy candles. So nothing to do. Let's see. There's your 15-minute range. So now let's see. We're right in the middle of a 15-minute range with this little dump that was right here, though. If someone would have caught that on like a flat bottom breakout and just got right out after a couple of points, it could have been 796. Yeah, 791. Could have got 5 quick points there. I got conflicting VWAPs. Look at that. That's good for a timestamp there. Look how far the VWAP is above on this 1 minute chart in Trading View. And I should have the same. There's your, give you overall direction. We'll bring that back into play in a minute. But then look at TradingTech. It's suggesting that the VWAP is right there at it. So that's discerning. And that's going to be, I got standard deviations in there. So something's not right and something ain't right, Toto. VWAP, show you the settings. Let's see here. Source, high, low, close plus close divided by 4. That's fine. Open plus high plus low plus close divided by 4. We'll try that. Moved it further away. Session for sure. Let's go to the week and then bring it back to the session and see if it reset. It did not. All right, so let's just do, how about we'll do the high-low close divided by 3. No change. How about the high-low divided by 2? No change. So I always had it on the high-low close plus previous close divided by 4. And that's usually where it's always been pretty accurate. But, and then TradingTech, you know, you can't, we can't set that up. Let's see here. VWAP, just, you know, this does, I don't have 0 shift is all I could do here. So I don't know. I'm going to make sure that it closes above at least a TradingTech VWAP before I think about taking a long. My bias is beginning to be long. You can look at your uptrend. RSI now has already made that run. When I told you the RSI was really oversold, we could have taken that RSI play, which coincided with this little V-shaped recovery from that massive down, which this is not uncommon. It's just early in the session before the 15-minute mark and at the 15-minute mark, I worry about it because sometimes it does like this and then it'll cascade back to, you know, previous support levels, especially when you're below the VWAP. I trust these to try to grab that bottom V on a DCA when we're trading above the VWAP, like significantly above. You know, at least we got clear air for 9 candles. So I like to have 9 candles, 1 minute candles. So be above the VWAP 10 minutes, then have a V pullback, touch VWAP, make that recovery, and boom, you're right in, you make your day. Look at this. Holy moly. Somebody's wanting to buy. Somebody's wanting to buy. There's a half gap fill, so we missed that too. Just going to sit here and miss all the trades today. Mainly, wasn't feeling it, but that's a perfect break of the top side. That's exactly where we had our order in, and you saw me delete it. It broke that order range and it's filled the half gap. So there's another trade that would have made the day had we taken it. See what happens. We're going to buy the bid, and we're going to just wait. I'm just going to take a little scalp here, try to get $100 or so out of it. In real time, it's good to push here, boys. We need some pushing. We are going to print here above the VWAP, so I think we're okay to go ahead and there and get, I'm going to sell the ask whenever I get the profit we want. You can watch it with me right there in the center.
Order filled.
All right, so there you go. We were in the trade for 27 seconds. We basically did that breach of the VWAP. Could have gotten it earlier, like I just explained a second ago for the timestamp. Could have got this bottom V here. If you was trading micros, you could have scaled in a little bit at a time and not been too painful. Been a great trade. Now you might have let yourself get stopped out on these lower lows and this little break of structure. But if you'd looked at the ASCII during that time, which I didn't, it's been so choppy, I wasn't going to come over here and wait on it. We could probably drop that down to a 1 minute and be more conclusive, but it's only had 2 1-minute candles with no bottom tail. So I'm okay to have gotten out with that. And then on this VWAP, we got that contradictory VWAP. It's saying we're not to VWAP yet. So let's see what happens. I'm okay to get out with that $160. And you can see right there after commissions, that's going to be $136. If you was trading 5 accounts like we do, then you got $136 times 5 accounts on a trade that lasted 27 seconds. So technically your day could be done. But I like to try to get $500 per account. And so we're just going to sit here and be patient and maybe see if we can pick up some more momentum trades. We're watching the book map. Alex's book map. We're watching that. Let's make sure we're in real time. We're live. And looks like we got 8:51 on an 8:51. I did have to reset the atomic clock this morning. I've never had that come up. In Tradeovate, right across the top was a bar that says your atomic clock is not in line with our atomic clock. Now, when I did it, nothing changed. So it had been just seconds because I did it, I think it was like 8:21. And when I re-synced it, it still said 8:21. So it was going to be seconds. But it's good that Tradeovate said, hey, want to make sure you're on the exact same second as you can be. So could still be in this trade. A lot of people are going to ridicule me on that, but I take profit. I see profit, I take profit. Okay. There's a bunch of videos out there on a gentleman that does nothing but micro-scalp the micros. And so he's just trying to make 20, 30, $40. Does that many, many times a day in 10 accounts. Pardon me. And that's an okay way to do things as well. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. 20 minutes on the stream. I'm going to be recording for about a half hour today. Unless something comes up. Let's go ahead and take a picture of our news over here. All right. Powell says that we will see gradual cooling in the labor markets. U.S. short-term interest rates futures rise after Petropoulos says he can't say if July is too soon for a rate cut. He cannot say if July, that means he's just not saying anything. Obviously, compared to the rest of the world, we're long overdue for a significant rate cut. Let's get our home markets going and keep up with the rest of the world. You got a lot of countries that are doing just fine on their gross domestic products and have gotten their rates back down and near zero. And we're sitting here with extremely high rate. So that's what I'm reading into that. This is politics. Go back and look at how many times, well, when it wasn't really needed, Powell reduced the rates underneath President Biden. And then now all of this resistance, when all of the same indicators that were not aligned whenever he did it for President Biden are aligned for President Trump, and he's continually to talk negative about the markets and the economy, which is by all metrics booming. No reason for these rates to be that high. That's my soapbox. Get the rates down. He's also mad that he's going to be fired, and he knows that his tenure there is over, and so he's just trying to make sure his speaking engagements afterwards, that calendar is going to be full, because he'd be I went against Trump. I went against Trump. Yeah, you went against all of us, is what you did. Now, I like this little setup, so what we'll do is we'll go back to TraderDate, and we'll just try one. I'm going to go ahead and put in an order. Let's see here. I hate that it doesn't let me move it, or I don't know how to do it. I think I could just click it right there. All right, and I'm going to buy 4. If we breach that, you can see over here on the right-hand side, I got my orders in. I'm going to buy really, really quick at the 22,835. And we're getting a pullback, and let's see if it pulls back to VWAP, and it holds. I've got a 14-day moving average. We got a little room to sell. The RSI was super, super overbought, so we're okay to pull it back down. And if you look at our range today, we've just been touching my 30 line, and that's a standard everyone uses. We've been touching it, but don't be fooled. It could still even go further. So you see back here, and over the night it went further, but with volume, it looks like it's going to be respecting more or less the traditional 70-30 on your RSI, just another indicator. You also come back over here, and we'll look at the ASHI candles on 1 minute. We have, the VWAP from TradingView. If I remember, we pointed this out. This is a good thing to talk about this video. TradingView and TradeOvate. This is a good timestamp AI. TradingView and TradeOvate, different areas, although I got the settings exactly the same in both platforms. So someone in the comments below, explain that one to me. Which one do you go by? This one's showing VWAP to be support. This one's showing VWAP to be resistance. And I don't know which one I trust at this point. I'm going to turn off this linear regression channel. I love it. I love it as we get on into the day, especially because you could just, if you get in that range bound, especially when the volume goes low for lunch, you can be buy at top, sell at the bottom, so on and so forth, vice versa. Little volume coming in. So on my charts, I got my VWAP. That's my thicker yellow line. A green line is my 5-period moving average. Red line is my 10-period moving average. Blue line is my 21-period moving average. So we've got lots of things that would tell us here where the momentum might be heading. Here we go. We're still selling. Still selling. Go back to our book maps. Here's, if you guys want to follow the live Alex TWB, see the name down at the bottom, and he has one for each. I'll show you. So you can just do NQ, you can do ES, you can do gold, and you could do crude futures. And so I like his because he does a couple of additional overlays. Let me turn off that chat to kind of minimize our workload on the PC. But he does, these are from Ninja Trader. These little boxes here, he's pulled over from Ninja, has them overlaying the top of the chart. So is this timing sales, and there's books written about that. You certainly could do videos. Then he has the sound set up, and he goes through those, how they could be interpreted. And then a bunch of other indicators of resilience and things like that. You couple that with the rocket scooter. Look, rocket scooter through half gap. That was a trade of the day right there. I'm sure that they're all the ones that took that. If you look at where the VWAP was, a break of VWAP, and then you take half your position off at the half gap, and then you ride it for the first reversal candle on ASHI. I'll show you one of those. I've just been a little gun shy with all of this news and weirdness. And look, that rolled right back over. That means it's not heading to the top of the DD band. This outer box is the DD bands themselves. And so I think we're okay on what we did to grab that $160 per account and just let it sit there for a second. All right, so we're just back to VWAP if you're using the VWAP in your TraderVate. But your VWAP in TradingView, we have lost. We've also lost the 5, the 10, and now the 21 period moving average based on a 1 minute candle. And this looks different if we zoom it back out to a 15. 15, looks like we could be on these bottom tails and into an uptrend. So this might just be a nice pullback and then make a run past we're just in the middle of the opening 15-minute range. That's that box. It draws it for me with that modified Lux Algo free indicator. You would just type this indicator there in TradingView, modified Lux Algo. Need to mention that as well with a timestamp about these different indicators. That needs to be in the bottom of the YouTube video, so I'll make sure that happens. And in this course, linear line regression, the channel, that's also a free indicator. But you really could do a lot of trading with just these 3. And then if you're using your free book map over here with Alex, and then maybe following someone else who's doing some more advanced charting for you. Mike Schwartz does a good job. He just talks, no face, and he'll talk through. I don't have to listen to him all the time anymore. Let's see what we got going on trade here. So we're rallying back, right? Look at that. We just missed it. Doing a little training session, Terry. This is another trade. It's the 3rd and 4th trade I missed today that I would have taken. So let's just see. Look at this candle, what it just did. It would have triggered me. I'm taking that off. I don't want that on there no more. Now we got a different animal. This is a different animal. Didn't quite get to 30 on the oversold before it made this little pop. But look at this candle here now has got me very worried. I don't like that candle at all. And that's just way too much range. That you can make a living within a range of that much candle. So now we got to wait for some consolidation and then see where this direction wants to go. Buyers could not move it up. It's been rejected thus far. I'm gonna go back to a 45-second candle, reset the chart. Let's see where we are. There's your London. There's your overnight lows and highs from London. And then here is there is our New York opening range. That's the opening range high, opening range low. Automatically draws it from the modified Lux Algo. And so we're basically at the top of that opening range. I don't know why it didn't capture this on the drawing. I think because it limited it to the 15-minute mark. That's okay. You can still kind of see, other than this little overshoot up to VWAP, right? VWAP was resistance. And again, another reason to not be too crazy today is the VWAPs on 2 different platforms are showing 2 different locations. I'm on the same product. NQ, U51, yeah, that's all the same. So, that's an anomaly that I'm not going to be able to look that up right now. So I'm going to let all of the total indicators in totality let me know. So we'll use RSI. We'll kind of ignore the VWAP. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just hide the VWAP. And we'll use the 14 moving period. We'll use the volume, and we'll use the SMA. So that's what we got. That gives you 2 separate indicators besides reading your candlestick patterns themselves, which is old school. You got to be able to do all of it. And then over here, we got multiple moving averages. We got the histogram. We got absolute momentum over here on the left bottom, and we're underneath absolute momentum. And I like for it to be on top if I'm going to be longing. And so we got both our short period, which is 125 periods, and our long period, the red, 250 periods, both trading below your medium delta. So that's not good for longs. We got to get for this to be really good for me to want to stay in it, for 5 or 10 candles for a nice run. I'm going to need to see that momentum be above that 50%. That zero line is what I like to call it. Histogram not looking good, still shorts. Everything right now looks like more selling. What is we doing over here? So TSLL, even though look at Tesla's had a $10 bump. So we all thought that probably would be the case today. Get it up around 313, and then I can think about offing some of my calls, my TSLL July 25th calls. I think I got 10 lots of that. I got 10 lots of that averaged in at $1.19 a contract. down to 99 cents a contract today. So I'm underwater right at 20%. But she's coming back. That $10 earlier, we had a even spike down there at $9.99. So on buying the underlying stock, TSLL could have made a 75-cent little run right there today. You know, got yourself 1,000 shares or something for a 50-cent run. Been a nice little $500 pop. I do enjoy trading the options on it, especially when there's been so much turmoil with Elon and the President Trump arguing over the pork in the bill and over EV mandates, which I don't get the argument. Everybody comment down there about Elon and President Trump. Every time Elon was on the stage, President Trump was saying, we're going to do away with EV mandates. You're not going to be required to buy electric cars anywhere. If you want them, buy them. If you don't want them, don't buy them. He said that with Elon right on the stage. So I don't know why it's a big surprise now. And most of us thought that that was already baked in, that all that talking and everything was baked in. The EVs had taken some hits here and there. It's getting interesting now, you guys. We are getting a turn up here, but we're not trading above the momentum delta. So I don't know if this is just a little fake out. We got to wait. We got to wait. Did come off the bottom. The RSI, the last several periods, if I would trust it more, I got away from trusting it, but it's really been working. If you look this, you know, you could accumulate some right down here at the 30 when it's oversold, and then you can scale out at the 50% mark and then see if you get a full retracement, almost like doing Fibonacci's, which I don't believe in, but that would be almost like, you know, having one of these like that, you know what I mean, to the high. So that's where we were. So this coincides with the RSI. We've exceeded to 50%. So there is a trade right there. People that use the fibs, Fibonacci needs to be in the timestamp, how to use fibs. People that use fibs might have got a 50% retracement. Now I've custom done mine. If you right click on them and go settings, you can set all of your different levels. And if you're into fibs, this is where you would do it. I only use it for 50% retracements or these little V shapes. And I'll use it to catch these V's. Like in a normal trading session, when I'm not fidgety, I will just say, okay, there's my rotation because my book maps is saying that the volume is coming up. Look right in there. That's where you would have heard the sounds of you'll get used to the two different sounds. They make two different thuds. There's a higher pitch, quicker sound for up and a lower pitch drum for down. And then you can just look at the bubbles to see. So we would have caught that. That would have coincided with the RSI turning off the bottom. And look, it's only really doing about a 50% retracement if you go back to your fibs. So there's many ways to have confirmation when you're in a trade. But you're seeing today why I've gotten used to micro scalping, meaning less than 1 minute in the trade. As again, if you're just now tuning in or you didn't see it earlier in the video, I've made it says I've made 3 trades, okay, which that's probably the 3 accounts of 8 contracts, and 27 seconds was the average time I was in the trade. I've had no losing trades, and the basically the average trade. I don't know how I broke that down. Y'all watch me. That's wrong. Something's going on over here today, Terry. This is also a timestamp. People might be able to comment down below. Let me know what are the things happen. I'm just running everything together. I took 1 trade. I bought 4 at the bid. I bought at the bid, and y'all watched it with me when it exceeded and held $100. Because if you try to do it as soon as you see 100, it always going to get slippage against you. I like to go up and it goes 100, 120, 140, back to 100. When it goes back to that next number, in my experience, the video game aspect of it, that's when I exit. And that exit wound up being a gross of $160, $136 in the accounts after commish. There's another reason I like doing multiple accounts. I know it's a little more expensive for you guys to get your straight to fund it, either Tradeify or ETF. But you can have much smaller moves without as much risk. And if it does go against you a little bit, you can DCA and have enough room because you're trying to make smaller moves in multiple accounts. It just works for me. There's pros and cons, of course, commissions and things like that. But you just seen it in 27 seconds, $160. net $136 to my pocket, to my pot for future payout. Highly recommend you just trade your own account and do it in a way that your total loss is all you keep in that account. And so like a $10,000 account, your own money, and then just follow your rules tight that you've learned from paper trading and then from cheapo prop firm trading, like just the cheapy ones, $50, $80, move your way up to where you're just getting 5 to 10 straight to fund it. And Tradeovate, you're allowed to put in up to 10 accounts if the prop firm allows it. So you got to overlay that too. Highly recommend you don't use a prop firm that has rules that limit you to having to stay in a trade for a minute. And because we wouldn't have made any money today if that was the case, because that trade turned right back around. All right, let's go over here. You know, that was short-lived. There's nobody wanting to take control since the opening today. If you look at the opening back here, we're just basically range bound. There's a New York opening range low, which is these two candles here. And then we have the open range high, which is basically these candles right in there. That was an overshoot that it didn't catch. Let's take that Fibonacci off there. What is Pat saying? Pat is showing videos of doing something. Oh, me. Let's see what we got. Nice sell-off now, breaking the low of day. Let's see that. We're headed toward the low of day. Now, this is another one of those V's, but, you know, what's concerning is look at this. You don't have to draw a line to see what's happening right now. We are selling. Even though we're selling, Tesla has made a $10 run down to 4% on the day. So I'm glad I didn't sell my options at the opening like some people did. That could just be a short cover rally. But right now, just only a slightly uptrend on your linear regression. So linear regression slightly to the upside. So I'm inclined to take a long here. Let me just see. Coming off the bottom on RSI, so we'll go ahead and get our order filled, and then we'll be on the button. Just going to try to do the same thing. Going to see that $100 and a little pop here. She's coming. All right, guys. So another $100. You see right here in the if you see what I did sell the ask instead of sell market. That makes it put it in there at a limit order. And I've been seeing so much slippage. This is important to know. I've been seeing so much slippage doing buy market and sell market, which is not normally the case, that I just started doing buy, bid, sell, ask, but then I'm ready to go immediately over to the left and just exit all with a market order if it goes against me. This is still going right. This is going to be another run. Let's go look at the fib scale on this. If you look at the bottom there and here, going to the top, this thing should, you know, if we want to do a 50% retracement, it should go there. But what's worrying me in the short term is these right here. This looks like it's a down sell. But still, that was enough with the RSI and with the histogram coming our way, with the green candle forming on the 1 minute on the ASHI. And then we had a nice turn here off the RSI on the bottom. Look, it's worked every time. This one had a nice run all the way to overbought. This one only did about a half the gap. This one looks like it's turning around. Same thing, half gap. Now, this may be where it is. This also always suggests to be a trickle-down selling off. And it's a sell-off until it ain't. You know, if the bulls step in here, we take over. If we break the high a day, we break that opening range. We break that opening range. Let's go ahead and turn off this. We break that opening range, okay? Somewhere above the VWAP on this trading view is more what is where we could get our breakout today. Again, I told you what I was worried about. Worried about the being at the all-time highs. Look at the run, guys. So let's remember the RSI is giving us a heck of a run. One heck of an RSI run. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Ripping, ripping, boys. Had a little push down, a little fake out. We took our money early in this run. I was even thinking we're going to take out the low of the day. That's where we were headed, and look what just happened. So we might just be establishing right now a larger range. This certainly could just be a larger range. So you just got to be mindful. You got to be fluid. You can't be biased. So let's see if we exceed the previous overshoot. A lot of people probably lost money right here. They probably thought, okay, a couple of candles have closed above the opening range. We're about to do, one of these, kaboom, 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 boom. That's what they probably thought. And then it just crashed out on them. And then this candle right here was the one I told you I was really worried about. Let's wait. And we waited for quite a few. I got that 9 candle wait in there on the 45 second, like I like to get. And then here, nice momentum, but will the real VWAP please stand up? Because this VWAP here is holding in place, it looks like. Trying to get that. Well, it won't let me delete it. So I'll just clear all of them. 6 drawings. Oh my goodness, must be some old drawings on here. So we're gonna get rid of all those. There's some old drawings. Look over here. Remember we talked about the absolute momentum was trading below. Look what just happened in that push right there. That's why you're patient and you wait for it. Stuff like this will happen. And the more you trade, the more you know something like that is about to happen. And you look at all your indicators, you scan them, you hear the sounds from the book map, and then you make a decision. You got to do it fast. This is fighter pilot stuff. It's not putting, I don't put on trades and wait for them for 20 minutes. That's not how I trade. And I'd rather get in and out. See profit, take profit. Nice 1 minute ashy run, no bottom tails. That was a nice run. Some people only trade with these. And they add at each time a new candle starts, they add. And then they scale out when they get their first doji or first blemish of a red candle or first bottom tail green candle. They start thinking about getting out of some of the position. Pat is unloading on Dakota, it looks like. See what Swartz is doing over here. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like Pat just locked up. He's coming to us live from Hawaii on a month-long fishing trip. One of the internet sensations in the trading world. Puts on a good show, decent trader. See what I mean? How that just went away. Let's see if that's going to like pull back, consolidate, have a continuation. We won't know, but it's nothing to trade right now. The move is over, and you're really only looking for those parabolic feeling kind of moves, like from here up. There was one here. These were too short-lived to really grab anything because that candle was back and forth big time. This candle here was crazy. But this little move here has been the best move of the day. And I got a feeling that once we get past the London overnight low, opening range low, that was the whole range of the London market yesterday. That's the whole range. So obviously at the bottom of that range, we've got resistance. And so let's see if we can get over that. But on the trading view chart, we're above VWAP, and the VWAP is set correctly. Just doesn't match the VWAP on Tradevate. And now we'll be looking again for some sort of flat top breakout. And I would be targeting London's highs from their session. Why wouldn't you? Right? You would just, that's what you would do. Because that's what they say. See, this scary. So if you guys ever watch videos or read up on flat top, flat bottom, it's got to be pretty close and it's got to be mini candles. Like this kind of negates that for me. And now I'm kind of starting over what my thinking is. Let's see what the RSI is. Coming off of overbought, so just could be a normal pullback. Let's start getting interested when we get down to the RSI down here. If we get that next rotation over on the book maps, okay, over on book maps, I'm showing the screen to you now. If we get a rotation on RSI and the trader rate, so let's bring it back down. So anywhere down in here, 30, 35. You can see the scale over here to the right. I got them set to 70, 30. Get down there around the 30s, and then we'll start listening to book map and see if it's going to have any momentum. And we'll watch the two little numbers here to make sure buyers are outpacing sellers. And that all has to be done pretty quick, or you miss these little micro moves. Then we're going to jump over here. We're going to do buy the bid, and we're going to get in. Right now, we're sitting on $213 in each account today. And not bad. Take it. Yeah, what's happening over here? Let's go back to, all right, 305. Tesla slowly grinding it up today. Slowly grinding back up. That's fine. Not going to panic. Needed to get it around 313 will translate over to me making a little money or breaking even on my options and getting that back to cash. Set the chart over here on this side so we can see a little better. Look at that rollover of our absolute momentum. So we've lost upside momentum. And that's why I told you back here on the chart, if you see where I got my crosshairs, that candle right there was concerning. Again, I'm on a very small time frame. This wouldn't mean anything. Maybe if we go to a 5, just chop city. See, just chops. But this, a lot of people won't take trades because they're waiting for momentum to give them a half-hour trade or something. And you wouldn't have that today if you're trading a 5-minute candle. So trading a 1 or 45-second candle is what we're doing. Done pretty good on it today. Just doing 4 in. Just doing 4 in. Don't understand how I could say 6 trades. We've literally done 2 trades. There's something wrong there. Their VWAP's off, and that math is just off. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Here they come. Not looking to take any shorts. It was already oversold. I am looking for a reversal as long as we maintain this area. We maintain this area on a reversal. I'm looking for it. Ooh, look at that. Remember, bulls run up the stairs and then bears jump out the window. Look at that. So they didn't like some kind of news event. What's going on with the news here? Well, the PMI was 49. PMI was 49, forecast at 48.8. So that's just maybe the little algorithm. But look, we're still holding. The New York opening range low is still holding. Let's see what we got over here. We need to have an uptick. Didn't really overshoot. So just one. How many times have we touched it this morning? 1, 2, 3, 4th time. And we've been to the bottom of the trough of RSI, Relative Strength Index. But the problem with this, and the reason I've been micro-scalping, is you could have bought the break of the VWAP here for a long, and look how fast that would have turned on you. Just leaned over to get a sip of coffee and lost your whole account. Not for the faint of heart when it's this chop. Like right here, beautiful. I just was calling it beautiful ash sheet candles. I just called a nice absolute momentum. The delta value is moving over center, moving over 0, which is really positive for longs. And but no joy, no joy. Rolled right back over with vengeance. Now, unless there's a news driven, and news will create issues that something can continue to be oversold. And we certainly are oversold as severe as we've been all day right now. But it has to be news driven. Let's go back over here to the calendar and see what just happened. 6 minutes, we got the Dallas Fed. Hope you can see that on the screen. Yeah, you can. 6 minutes, you got the Dallas Fed meeting results right here. So the job opening 7.76 on a 7.3 forecast. So we got more jobs available. Manufacturing prices, that's not too bad. It was 69. It's not bad from previous. Don't really see anything. This was low impact, but look, 49. The PMI 49. Forecast 48.8. These aren't really misses. You know what I mean? So I think that's beyond this. That might have been what this little one here was for, but whatever it was, no one thought it was worth getting out of the same 15-minute range, which is hard to make a living for a lot of momentum traders like Pat, the rocket scooter crowd. I try to incorporate all of them because I just don't have the patience to sit and wait and wait and wait for bona fide absolute breakouts, especially when they come so seldom. Pat and these guys, Pat's locked up, so he must have lost his feed over there. These guys, I had to restart Pat. They throw in, 10 to 20 mini contracts at it. So just big numbers. And so they wait until it meets everything in their criteria. And then they don't mind loading back up with that. That would blow my account. And so would blow most people's account trading that way. And so that's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. All right, we're going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes, but let's try to get us one more trade before we do. Got other bookkeeping and work, desk work that is, to do today. And I'm going to be watching my Tesla trade, my TSLL. TSLL. So that's what we're trading. Down 7% today. Needed that to be, I think my delta is going to be about $11.35. It will break me out with a 20% win on my options. And so I'll go through that. Let me see if I can just find that real quick here. I trade my options over at Robinhood. Come on, just give us the charts. Give us the charts already.
Top ESL.
Unlock legend. What do you mean? Well, everything's logged me out, Terry. I'm logged out of everything. Check your Robinhood app. All right, let's do that. Why does it not know who I am? It's crazy. They must have some kind of security thing with everybody. And that's because everything I had to redo drivers today, all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's go to the options trading. Some TNA, but we're about TSLLs today. Let's see. What's the bid ask? There it is, July 25th. July 25th. I got 8 contracts, excuse me. Right there it is. Well, we're okay today. Yeah, definitely okay. Could get out right now, actually. Gonna wait it out. Nice little run. Nice little run today. See if we can't get above that around 11:20. The top of that wick right there would have been able to get out with a nice little chunk change. So anyway, that's that part of it. And we're now breaking down from the opening range. This is we've had a 1 minute candle has closed below the opening range, but we had a couple 1 minute candles close above it and above the VWAP up here with nothing. Did get a sell signal, rare sell signal. A rare sell signal from the modified Lux algo. So now let's just watch here. A little late to this party. Here comes some buyers. Very, very oversold. So we're down in the sub 20s on being oversold. That always means it was news. Something didn't like something with those numbers. Or they sell the good news today. Maybe you never know. You never know. Looking interesting. We'll get some volume. This is when I should go to ones. I should lock in this $213 an account. I should go to ones. Not trying to make fortunes like those other guys. Couple grand a week. Couple of grand a week. Only trading about an hour or so, though. And that's just from the futures. Then you trade yourself some options, trade yourself some underlying stocks, and sell some covered calls against it. Let's see here. What are we trying to do? 6 to 4. We do have momentum, but it's not convincing. It needs to be a little bit more powerful, buyers to sellers. We might just have this little overshoot retracement. Might be having a little retracement of this overshoot. Get us back to the range, which would be a nice trade. Let's watch it. Let's watch it right here. Let's watch it right here. Nothing yet. Clear sell signal at the bottom of this flat bottom breakout. Got a sell signal right there. Only sell signal the whole day. There was no buy. There was one buy signal right here. And that buy signal would have been proven wrong because it rolled right back over. You'd had to get out pretty quick. Here's a sell signal equally at that bottom break. That's why that signal was triggered. And that one would have made you some money.
Top ES5. Top ES5.
Look over here. Slow period 125 is about to eclipse the center line. I'm starting to get interesting. We're getting us a green candle on the 1 minute ASHI. Green candle. 6 to 5. Still not everything lining up. Not everything's lining up. It may be trickling up, but I want it to be with force so I can be guaranteed to get my fill, get a bump without having to take any drawdown, and then get out. That's what I'd like to see. A little bear flag, doesn't it? Everybody, you need to get one of these extended mouse pad looking mats. It has all of your flag indicators on it. Get them on Amazon. And it's neat if you get where you are. Mainly people are trading bear flags and bull flags. You'll want to know pennants, channels, and flat top, bottom, and bottom breakdowns and breakouts and things like that. What we want to see over here is for the RSI to turn up. When we also have the ashy candles with the appropriate tail, which is no bottom tail going up, no top tail going down. This was pretty clean. Couple of tails right there, but look at those. No top tails on any ashy. All right, we got our first candle might close here. And we might have missed this little run here, but I'd like to see it. I could drop to a 45. 45 seconds. We got 43 seconds to go. And we might be looking to take a little trade here. Should have taken it at the crossover right here, you all. I'm not going to take it because of the way this market's been. I'm not going to take it. But we could have taken the breach of this RSI because it did coincide with our absolute momentums both rotating up. They're still not above zero. But everything does look like that could have been a little short-term trade. Could have been a short-term trade, meaning 25 seconds. Okay, that's it for me. I'm going to stop recording. I hope whoever sees it gets something out of it. Thank you. Please send me some subscribers so we can get the live streaming. You got to have 1,000 subscribers. Rumble and all that does it immediately. I guess I could go on X. They approved it, but I really want to do it on YouTube. And I want to try to help people. People just who needs to make, $300 to $500 a day. It's a good living. And it can be done easily without a lot of risk. If you just learn some rules, stick to your rules, and don't get greedy. Oh, look at this. See that? I said I missed it. I'm not feeling good about it. We could have taken it here. I didn't. I just didn't feel good about it. I even just said this crazy market. Basically, it touched the 14-period moving average. It says, no, thank you. No, thank you. Where are we at over here? Still hovering around 1080. Tesla's got some resilience today because it's sold off so much. So much. Well, I was hoping for that 345 run on Tesla, and then Elon and President Trump started fighting again. And so I hate when I have to come in here and make a few $100 in these accounts to make up for an options play that's going bad. But that's the way it is, the way it goes. First your money and second your close. All right. I don't see anything I like here. This is just sitting on hands. Let's look at the rocket scooter real quick. Let's do a reset of the chart. Reset of the chart again because I grabbed it wrong. There we go. Oh, no, come on. Oh, it did a Twinkie. Let's actually reset the chart, everybody. Let's reset the chart. All right. Rocket scooter. There we go. Yay, yay, yay. Everybody knows the song. I use rocket scooter and I put a VWAP on it just to make me feel good. But you don't have to have the old school stuff anymore. These guys just trade liquidity pockets. They use these setups, as we talked about before, all trained in the class. The class is $20. It's a bucket class, 20 classes. They start up. You can jump in the middle, finish that part of it, then get it the next time. I make nothing from them. You can tell them that Jim Daniels address optional sent you. I don't have affiliate links. I don't get jack. I just use them myself. It does work, and it's just more added added stuff for you. What in the world just happened here? Here and reset the chart. It's weird that I'm missing something. What just happened? Everybody, I'm missing half the stuff. What in the world? I don't want that like that. Technical difficulties all the way around today. So we're missing all of the sidebars missing, all the bands are missing. And like even my login, where's my, my login thing is missing. Let me just go to here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to close that out. Yeah, let me close that out. Oh, you know what that did? I must have hit the button that breaks that out to full screen. Duh. Now we got our resiliences and everything in there. But this box here should be over there. There we go. Oh, I hit this button, y'all, instead of this button. See that? This button is make everything go out there. And all I had to do at that point was probably hit escape. But this button refreshes the liquidity part of the map. Because you could drag these boxes around by accident. I wish Matt would, and I know they're working on it. I'd be glad, let me reframe that. I'd be glad when they get it set where all this stuff stays set and it's lockable. But anyway, came off the open at the bottom of the DD band. DD's risen 85. Resilience on S&P is 1131. Resilience on NASDAQ -2. It's going to be probably, if we go look at it on our watch list, you got Tesla, PLTR, MSTR, NVIDIA. Everything's in the red in the Mag 7. And so that's why the resilience is negative. So probably the rocket scooter people are doing, are trading the SPYs today, SPY. And I do have mine set to that. But, pardon me. But you basically, a break of the VWAP and a break of the lower band, although that's a gnarly ride, you still are uptrending on the SPY anyway. But the NQ breaking down is not correlating with the SPY today. We have broke down below the opening range. Let's change this to a 15-minute, reset the chart, see where we are. So there was our opening range yesterday. We already broke down from that. And now we're headed down, look back down in here, I would say, 22,600. Can easily get down to 22,600. So I know people saying like, really? Yeah, it could. There's nothing. A little bit of stuff right here. See that? That's all 15 minutes. So that is powerful right here. So we got to hold this area because the next stop is all the way. It's the next stop right here. Next stop is 22,600. So let's see if we hold this area. You see, I was looking for that bounce on the long a minute ago over the Tradeovate. Just wasn't feeling it. Look how oversold we are. Just staying at that 30 or sub 30 oversold. That's usually news. That's usually news. Well, we'll leave it there. I guess I should start putting links to everything I mentioned in here so people could go and look up these different news stories and what have you. And I will at some point. Okay.